What the hotel never wanted revealed. Log downtown Los Angeles. To tourists, it's a mix of movie backdrops and Instagram moments, palm-lined streets, Art Deco architecture, rooftop bars. But 2 blocks away, the reality changes. Skid Row, one of the largest homeless communities in the United States, spills across 50 city blocks. The Cecil Hotel sits right between these 2 worlds. Too fancy for the shelters, too cheap for the luxury suites. On January 26, 2013, a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada, steps through its front doors. Her name is Elisa Lam. She's here to see America, to meet people, to write about her travels online. Her Tumblr is full of life. Snapshots of bookstores, reflections on mental health, quirky internet memes. She writes like someone who notices small, beautiful details, but also like someone who carries storms inside her mind. Elisa has bipolar disorder. It's something she manages with medication, antidepressants, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics. But managing an illness doesn't make it disappear. And travel, especially alone, can be unpredictable. Her family back in Canada worries. She promised to check in every day. That's the kind of promise you only make when both sides know there's a reason for it. The Cecil Hotel opened in 1924 as a jewel of Los Angeles luxury. Marble floors, stained glass windows, and a lobby so grand it could make you forget the streets outside. But history hasn't been kind to the Cecil. The Great Depression crushed the neighborhood. Crime crept in. Guests stopped being tourists and started being long-term tenants. People on parole, people on the run, people with nowhere else to go. In the 1980s, the infamous serial killer Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, lived here. He'd walk through the lobby in blood-stained clothes and no one asked questions. A few years later, another serial killer from Austria, Jack Unterweger, checked in. By 2013, the Cecil had racked up decades of suicides, overdoses, and unsolved deaths. Locals called it the hotel where people go to die. January 31st, 2013. It's Elisa's 5th day in the city. She's staying in a shared room, but that morning, her roommates complain about odd behavior. Hotel staff move her to a single room for the rest of her stay. Sometime that night, she steps into elevator number 3. A security camera in the upper corner silently records every move. She leans in and presses multiple buttons in quick succession. She waits, the doors don't close. She peeks out, left, right, snaps her head back inside. Then she does something strange. She steps out completely, then back in, hiding against the wall like she doesn't want to be seen. Her hands move in odd, fluid gestures, almost like she's pushing against invisible walls or talking to someone who isn't there. For almost 4 minutes, the sequence repeats. In, out, peek, gesture. The doors stay stubbornly open. Then she steps out for the last time, and the elevator closes. This is the last confirmed sighting of Elisa Lam alive. The next day, Elisa doesn't show up for checkout. Her parents, waiting in Vancouver, don't get their daily call. They phone the hotel, worried. Staff knock on her door. It's empty. By February 1st, the LAPD is involved. Detectives search her room. Her belongings are still there. Laptop, wallet, medication. No signs of a struggle. They bring in search dogs. The dogs pick up her scent in the hotel, but it vanishes near a window that leads to a fire escape. Beyond that, nothing. Days turn into a week. Flyers with Elisa's photo are taped to lamp posts across the city. The police release the elevator footage to the public. Within hours, it goes viral. People all over the world start dissecting the video frame by frame. Was she hiding from someone? Was she on drugs? Was she playing some kind of game? Some notice that the video appears to have been slowed down with timestamps skipping. Conspiracy theories ignite. Did the police cut out something or someone? Was she possessed? Was she the victim of foul play hidden in plain sight? The mystery deepens, and upstairs on the roof of the Cecil, something waits. Silent, sealed, and unseen. In just over 2 weeks, guests at the hotel will start complaining about something strange in their tap water. And the truth will finally come to the surface. It's mid-February 2013. Guests at the Cecil Hotel start calling the front desk with the same problem. The water pressure is low. The water looks dark. One guest says it has a strange taste. Another says it smells funny. Maintenance is sent to investigate. They climb the narrow stairs up the side of the building, then take a ladder to the locked door that leads to the roof. The rooftop is silent except for the hum of the city far below. 4 giant water tanks stand in a row. Heavy steel cylinders, each 10 feet tall, sitting on metal platforms. One of the tanks has its hatch slightly open. The maintenance worker climbs up, pulls the lid wider, and freezes. Component placement inside. Floating face up in the cold black water is Elisa Lam. She is naked. Her clothes are found later, drifting nearby. She's been missing for 19 days.
The discovery sets off a firestorm. How did she get there? The tanks are not only locked, but each is difficult to access without setting off alarms. The rooftop door is locked. The hatch is heavy. Detectives swarm the scene. They find no signs of trauma. No bruises, no cuts, no broken bones. Toxicology reports reveal only her prescribed medication in her system, and in some cases, less than she was supposed to have been taking. It raises a new question. Had she stopped taking her medication consistently? And if so, what did that mean for her mental state?
Online, theories multiply. Theory 1, accidental drowning. She may have been experiencing a manic or psychotic episode caused by her bipolar disorder, leading her to wander onto the roof and climb into the tank herself. Theory 2, foul play. The hatch, the locked door, the sheer difficulty of reaching the tanks. Some believe someone in the hotel must have known how to bypass these obstacles and use them. Theory 3, the supernatural. Some link her erratic elevator behavior to ghost sightings in the Cecil Hotel. A few even draw parallels to a Japanese horror film called Dark Water, where a girl is found dead in a rooftop water tank. Theory 4, the tuberculosis connection. In a bizarre twist, an outbreak of tuberculosis was reported on Skid Row shortly after her death, and the test kit used for detecting the disease, it was named the LAMELISA. Coincidence? Or something more sinister? As investigators search for answers, the Cecil's past creeps into the conversation again. Guests had died here before, some jumping from upper floors, some overdosing, others murdered. In this building, death isn't unusual, but the manner of Elisa's death, sealed away in the very water people drank and bathed in, was something new, something that would etch itself into internet folklore forever. If Elisa's death was an accident, it means her final hours were spent in fear, confusion, and cold isolation, unseen and unheard. if it was murder, then the killer not only ended her life, but turned her into part of the Cecil's infrastructure, hiding her in plain sight, while guests unknowingly consumed traces of her presence. For her family, both possibilities are unbearable. The LAPD closes the case as an accidental drowning caused by mental health struggles. But for millions of people who've watched the elevator footage, read the reports, and studied the Cecil's history, the official story doesn't add up. Why was the video slowed down and edited? How did she reach the tank without triggering the alarms? And why, in the heart of Los Angeles, did no one hear or see a thing? Next, we'll go minute by minute through that elevator footage, uncovering hidden details that might explain what really happened in those 4 minutes, and why they still haunt the internet today. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more mysteries. The footage begins at 8:26 p.m. on February 1st, 2013. Elisa Lam steps into the Cecil Hotel's elevator wearing a red hoodie and black shorts. Her hair is loose, framing her face. She doesn't look like she's in a hurry. Not yet. She stands near the control panel, glances down, then starts pressing buttons. Not one or two, but almost every button on the panel. Normally, an elevator would respond immediately, but here it doesn't move. The doors stay wide open. She steps to the side, peeking out into the hallway, almost like she's checking for someone. Her body language is alert, but something else? Almost playful? Or is it nervous energy? If she was trying to hide from someone, this elevator wasn't helping her. It's just sitting there, doors open, as if waiting for something. Elisa steps fully out into the hallway. She leans far to the left, peering into the distance. Then, in a motion that's been replayed millions of times online, she begins moving her hands in a strange, fluid pattern. Her fingers spread and curl, almost as if she's feeling the air. Some viewers say it looks like she's talking with her hands. Others see it as erratic behavior linked to a manic episode. And then there are those who believe she's interacting with something, or someone we can't see. Online investigators spot something else. The timestamp in the video appears corrupted. Seconds jump irregularly, as if frames were removed. The LAPD has never fully explained why the footage looks altered. If parts were cut out, what did we not see? Elisa steps fully into the hallway. The camera can't follow her. She's gone for nearly 20 seconds. When she reappears, she moves quickly back toward the elevator. Not running, but with urgency. She steps inside, presses the panel again, and then almost dances in place, swaying side to side. Her hands rise once more into those strange shapes, and then she's gone. She steps out for the last time, disappearing to the left. The elevator doors close. And finally, the lift begins to move, as if nothing unusual had happened. No one sees her alive again. If Elisa was hiding from someone, who? If she was in the midst of a mental health crisis, why choose the elevator, pressing every button, waiting for it to move? External struggle, the possibility of someone following her in that hallway. Internal struggle, her own mind, potentially distorting reality. Both could be true, and that's what makes these 4 minutes so haunting. But there's something we haven't addressed yet. The building itself. The Cecil Hotel has seen killers, suicides, unexplained deaths, and even housed serial murderers while they were still active. What if Elisa didn't just step into an elevator that night? What if she stepped into the hotel's long, cursed history? In the heart of downtown Los Angeles, surrounded by noise, chaos, and shadows, stands a building that has seen more death than most cemeteries. The Cecil Hotel. It opened in 1927 as a symbol of glamour, marble floors, stained glass windows, a lobby that could rival the finest in the city. But the glamour didn't last. The Great Depression hit. Wealthy businessmen moved out. Transients, drifters, and the desperate moved in. The area around the hotel, now known as Skid Row, became infamous for homelessness, drugs, and crime. By the 1940s, the Cecil was no longer a grand hotel. It was a cheap stop for people who wanted to disappear. The Cecil became a stage for tragedies. And here's the thing, this isn't urban legend. This is documented. Suicides from the upper floors, overdoses, murders behind locked doors, even a mother who threw her newborn baby out of a window. If walls could scream, the Cecils would be deafening. And then there were the serial killers. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, stayed at the Cecil in 1985 while committing a spree of murders across Los Angeles. He would return to the hotel, covered in blood, walk through the lobby half naked, and nobody asked questions. Jack Unterweger, another killer, checked in during the early 1990s, using the hotel as his hunting ground. Two monsters, years apart, both drawn to the same place. Coincidence or something more? Locals began to whisper, the Cecil is cursed. Maybe it's the location, maybe it's the history, or maybe, just maybe, there's something here that feeds on the lost, the lonely, and the unstable. Elisa Lam arrived at the Cecil in January 2013. She didn't know the stories. She didn't know the body count. But was she about to become part of it? In the days leading up to her disappearance, her social media posts hinted at struggles, a battle inside her mind. But if that was the only factor, why did her final hours play out like a scene from a horror film? Because this hotel doesn't just hold guests, it keeps secrets, and some of them never check out. Next, we follow Elisa's last 48 hours, who she met, where she went, and the chilling moments before she vanished forever. January 29th, 2013. Elisa Lam is in Los Angeles. Her trip began in San Diego. She'd been traveling alone, using buses and trains to explore California. She's 21, a Canadian student from Vancouver, on what she called her West Coast adventure. She checks into the Cecil Hotel. At first, she's placed in a shared hostel-style room on the 5th floor with other women. But within 48 hours, she's moved to a single room. Why? Her roommates reportedly complained about odd behavior. The details? Never officially disclosed. But it's our first sign something isn't right. January 30th. Elisa spends time visiting bookstores and cafes. She posts to her Tumblr. Her words are upbeat but scattered. She writes about loneliness, about wanting connection, about feeling small in a big, uncaring world. To her online followers, it's just another post. But to investigators, looking back later, they're pieces of a puzzle. January 31st morning. The weather is cold and gray. Downtown LA feels heavier than usual. Elisa is seen leaving the hotel wearing a red hoodie, black shorts, and sandals. She visits the Last Bookstore, a famous local shop. The clerk says she was friendly, talkative. By early evening, she returns to the Cecil. No one knows exactly what happened over the next few hours, but by nightfall, she is gone. Behind the online theories, there's family mourning. A mother, a father, siblings. Their daughter lost under circumstances they can barely understand. Public fascination doesn't make the grief easier. The official ruling doesn't erase the questions. The Cecil still stands, renovated in parts, yet the shadows remain. Tourists walk past, oblivious to the past. Rooms are rented. Water flows. Life continues. But the echoes of Elisa Lam linger, silent in the steel tanks above. And then there's the internet, the elevator video, GIFs, memes, analyses, each frame dissected, theorized, debated. Elisa Lam is immortalized. A face, a mystery, a cautionary tale. Her story spreads faster than any official report ever could. Some mysteries never fully resolve. Some deaths leave questions hanging in the air, heavier than any explanation. Elisa Lam's death is one of those. A young woman, curious, brave, caught in a moment that none of us can fully understand. Her story reminds us of fragility, of unseen struggles, of places and moments where the ordinary becomes terrifying. The Cecil Hotel still watches over its guests. The city moves on, and the mystery of Elisa Lam remains. Somewhere between tragedy, history, and legend. Tell us in the comments which crime documentary you want next.